If you're trying to figure out how to use hard light in your filmmaking and your cinematic images, then look no further. I've got a nice little project for you that I'm going to show you why I use hard light, why I love to use hard light, and how to use it in your project. So first things first, my name is Josh Miller. I'm a cinematographer here in Utah, and this project was for a client called Dime Beauty, and the production company that hired me as the DP for it was FilmLaab here in Utah. The purpose of this commercial was to show women at different time of the day using different products. Let me just show you the scene that we're going to be looking at. So we whip out from behind her head, and then we see her boom, 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 spray a couple times. And yeah, so the thing that I want to really emphasize is, for me, I typically am gonna light things more naturally, or at least just more motivated. And one thing that I feel like always makes things look more real and feel more real is hard light, actually. We live in a world where, just like soft light is kind of overused. And when you really pay attention to what life looks like on a regular basis, there's a whole lot of hard light in our regular everyday lives. For this scene, let me just give you a quick rundown of where everything is at in the scene. So main key light is actually a Godox light mat. I can't remember what they're called, but they're really, really cool. It's like a 2x4. For the backlight that was, doing the hard light, the edge light, sorry, not a backlight, edge light, is an Aperture 1200X. And we actually had a little thing on the front of it that I'm going to talk about here in a second. But Aperture 1200X coming through the window, and we kind of had because of the way that this shot, we set it up and everything, we had to really we were kind of like threading a needle. So this window, it was like just kind of coming right through there, and then she had to land so that this soft light could hit her as well. And that was a little bit tricky. But we also had to create some contrast, some negative fill on the left side of her, little table lamp in the back so that it would create a nice pool of light and have like a practical, and then an Aperture 600X in the kitchen to just light all that up and so that we could see it. So let me go back so that you can see what I'm talking about. So right here you see kitchen, you've got that practical there in the back, like I said, and then you can see obviously the hard light hitting her face. Now, the reason why, like I said, I wanted to use the hard light here was a couple of reasons. To just make it look more natural. Like, we wanted it to look like she's going out on the town sort of thing. So maybe we could have gone warmer with this, but we just decided not to. So not quite full like sundown sort of thing, but getting to that point. The other reason why I wanted to backlight it was because the product, let me show you kind of that hero shot. Whoop. So when you are using any sort of like liquids, if you want to see them on camera, you've got to backlight them. That's just like a spray or rain or anything like that. So you can see the spray coming out, and it looks freaking awesome. And then we also wanted the bottle to be glowing, so you could really see that. And that hard light, along with what it's doing to her on, the edge, on like her collarbone right here, just makes it look so freaking beautiful. Just like the shot itself looks beautiful, but it makes it look real. Like, it just feels real. By the way, if you are needing music, I recently started working with Artlist, and I have the ability to give you 2 free months off of an annual subscription. I've been using Artlist for, forever. I mean, I've been doing this 10 years, and I think Artlist has been around about that amount of time, and I've been using Artlist since then. And now that I'm working with them, I wanted to be able to help you guys get, something out of it as well. So 2 free months off of an annual subscription. The link will be down below, and that's just for you. So you're welcome. And then just a little side note on, so you can see we did like this like flash effect. actually freaking cool. So we actually used what do you call them? A strobe. A photo strobe, and it was actually really hard because we had to like time it right, and the fact that we were able to get this with the spray and everything, just it took multiple tries, but we got it. It was super worth it once we finally got it in camera. But yeah, I mean, and you can see the spray, you know, multiple sprays going during that whole time. So let me jump over to my other software that I want to show you. So this is called Satellite. Super freaking cool. I found this not too long ago and I've been playing with it, and it is a ton of fun. So the reason why I want to show you this is just because obviously the stuff that I already shot is already shot and I can't change anything in that. So, but I can with this. Since I can do this. So what's really cool about this program is I can move things around and it'll like show me what it's doing and give a fairly accurate look at what that might be doing. So one thing that I also like to do with hard light whenever is if I'm doing like a daylight sort of scene, is I like to keep my hard light on the same side as my soft light. And the reason for that is because it's like it's wrapping your light around. Like let me just take this, if I go overhead with it, so here's the line is like going let's see if I can, so you see that line going there. So we're gonna say this is the 180 line, and I want to keep my lights on this side of the line. And again, just the reason for that is just feels more natural. Like, especially if you're indoors like that, if the sun is coming in through one way, then like, you're not gonna weirdly have another hard, strong light coming through the other window because the sun's not coming through that direction, if that makes sense. And just to show you what I'm talking about, so if I go here, like that doesn't feel natural. Like we've got this, unless, you know, that was like the sun coming from there, and then this was, again, it's all based off of your set as well. Like based off of this room, where's this light coming from? This could work in the sense of if, you know, this was the sunlight and this was just some sort of soft light from something else, I don't know. But typically I'm gonna keep my lights on the same side, and especially my hard light, I want to keep that on the same side. And I also wanted this to be an edge light. So, you know, with hard light, with like backlights of any sort, I feel like a lot of times they're going to be harder lights, not always, but for the most part, like, and so if I wanted this to be an edge, so you can see that we're getting an edge on here. There's nothing hitting her on this side. If I wanted like a straight backlight, it would look like that, where you're getting some of here or there. And I wonder as well if this is, I just want to make sure that I'm getting, yeah, so now I'm getting even more of like a hair light, you know, I'm getting this kind of stuff on here as well. But yeah, like I said, I wanted it to be an edge, so I'm going to keep it here. Bring that down just a little bit. And that's going to help my subject pop. It's going to, like, that's hard light is going to do that. So another thing to consider is the hard light is not just like a one size fits all. There are different types of hard light, it's quality of light. There's different qualities of light. So for example, on this, this is a 1200D that I've got on there. So right now I've got a Fresnel, and a Fresnel is a lens that sits in front of your light that you can adjust the beam angle to like flood or spot more. And that light, the way that Fresnels are built, it gives this really cool quality of light. I love using Fresnels. Anytime I need like a hard light, I almost always put a Fresnel on it. And let me just see. So if I change this to boom, just seeing if it shows me, if it really gives me like a Okay, let's just turn this off and on, see what it's doing. So you see that it's got that going on. Now let me switch it back to the Fresnel. You see how it kind of like it floods that light out a little bit more rather than, I mean, just like look at, let me see if I can get this a little bit closer. So watch the difference between, so right now it's not like, it's not coming around her face as much. It's not wrapping as much. And when I turn on the Fresnel, I'm getting, you know, a little bit more coming around, and it's because it's just throwing that light a little bit nicer. And again, I feel like it feels more realistic. So you want that hard light to be serving the purpose of what it is. If it's like a hard light through, I'm trying to think of like another situation, like just a hard overhead light, you know, maybe you are using, if you were just saying, let's just say you were using 1200X like this, like you would just be using the regular thing. Cause let me show you, like whenever let's do this. Let me pull this out. Oh, not that. I'm gonna pull this. I'm gonna turn this off. Let's look at so right now I've got just that on there. The regular cone, the hyperbolic, parabolic, whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called. Anyways, regular cone on there. Let's switch it to a Fresnel. I don't know if this software can quite recreate the look of that, truthfully. I mean, you can see, you know, we're gonna get more intensity. Okay, let's do this. Yeah, if we've got, this is at like a 12 degree, because the other thing is like with Fresnels, you can rotate them so that they like have more of a spot or a flood. So there's spot, and there's flood. So you can see it's just like, it softens the shadow ever so slightly. Let's go back to yeah, it softens that shadow. Again, this is not real life, so we're not seeing exactly what it is. But, you know, let's do one more thing just to see kind of there. And let's switch from that to here. Yeah, there's just something about it. I just feel like it wraps. Do you see how it just wraps around her face more? So, again, it's not real life, so we're not getting exactly. But it just spreads that light more, and if I focus it in, you know, yeah, really love Fresnels. All right, so like I said, hard light is, for me, it is a way to make things look more realistic. I think it makes things look more real life. So that is how I use hard light in most of my you know, the things that I shoot, and hopefully that helps you with whatever it is that you're needing to shoot for your next project. If you don't already follow me, please give me a subscription, whatever, and like this video. If you have any comments, leave them down below. The last thing is I actually have a free storyboard template that I give out to whoever wants it, you know, people that want it, and it just makes your pre-production just a little bit better. So use the link down below, free storyboard template, and that is all yours. So hopefully you learned something from this. Hopefully this was helpful, and I will see you on the next one.